welcome to the Elsa Kurt Show. I'm Elsa Kurt, and today I have some very, very special guests I am beyond excited to bring to you. Officer Capri, Bill Nordbrock, and Mom, I don't know your name.
Stephanie.
Stephanie, I'm so sorry. So, hi guys, everybody, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you being here and taking time out of your day for me and all our listeners. So Bill, I'm going to start with you. I would love for you to give me a little bit of backstory of how you met Officer Capri, or do I call you Ranger Capri? I can call you both, right? Can I call you both? Is that okay? Yeah, either or. I'm going to bounce around. I'm going back and forth. All right, Bill, how did you meet Ranger Capri?
Well, let's see, and Stephanie and Capri, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was about 2 years ago, April, maybe 2 years ago, right after COVID hit. I was on Sheriff Mark Lamb's Facebook page, and I saw a post where Stephanie had called out a request for help for her little daughter having her, I believe, her 8th birthday. And all Ranger Capri wanted was one police officer to drive by her house with the red and blues, just a reminder of home. She comes from a family with a long line of law enforcement history, and cooped up, a young girl, just moved to the Phoenix area, stuck in with COVID for 90 days. She was obviously pent up, and that's all she wanted for her birthday. And so when I saw the post, I said, I don't know what I can do to help, but I'll try. And you'll hear the rest of the story, but the procession that ensued brought tears to my eyes and changed Capri's life, I think, and it was impressive. The procession was 2-3 blocks long. First responders from all over the state showed up.
That's amazing.
We can go into more details on that later.
Now, Stephanie, Capri, either one of you can answer, or both can take turns answering. What was your expectation when you put that message out? Did you think it would have the response and the reaction that it did?
No, not at all. We had zero expectation, only because it was COVID. You know what I mean? The dynamic of the world was just so crazy. And we were also dealing with a lot of criticism with police officers and stuff like that. And so being a family that was affected so much by the hate that we were getting, that was really what inspired Capri to want, hey, I want them to come to my house. I want to see one of them. I want to say hi. Yeah, we started watching live PD.
Cool.
And stop watching.
And yeah, we couldn't stop watching it. And of course we were stuck at home. So we were like, and she just like, Mom, wouldn't that be just so cool if one of them came by? I was like, that would be really cool. And that's really what sparked the post, because I'd already reached out to some friends and had them send postcards for her birthday. Like, I was already trying to do other things to spark this to happen. And the picture was Capri holding a postcard, because that was the very first thing she had gotten for her birthday that year, was a postcard. And I was like, okay, well, maybe if I did it this way as well, because I'd asked, hey, if anybody from around the country wanted to send her, a postcard, that would be great. Well, it turned into something way, bless you.
Bless you.
It turned into something way bigger than we could have even imagined.
That is absolutely amazing. So now, I mean, any guess of how many Rangers and police officers and cruisers and all of that showed up for the drive-by?
25 cars?
No, way more. We have video of it. Fox News, remember? It was a lot more than that, but let me set it up a little bit. Because it was about 2 weeks or so before Capri's birthday, so we didn't have much time. I live in Tucson. They're up in the Phoenix area, separated by a couple of 100 miles. We don't work with a lot of law enforcement agencies in Phoenix, at least my company directly. So I didn't know what kind of reach or effect we would have. I reached out to a few key connections, Pima County Sheriff's Public Information Officer here in Tucson, a former ranger who's now police chief with another department. That was about it. And I let them know about this and sent them the information, and they put it out to all of the chiefs of every agency in the state of Arizona, who then, I guess, shared it with all of the powers that be, I guess, with multiple first responders, medics, and fire. And all of a sudden, within like 24, 48 hours, my phone started ringing and my email started blowing up, and it got exponentially bigger and bigger as each day went on. And pretty soon I was literally working 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, fielding phone calls, like requests to send gifts from all over, not just the nation, but internationally. Officers and first responders started mailing birthday packages to Capri. And I mean, I didn't expect that. So I spent most of my time dealing with all of that. And then here comes May 2nd, Capri's birthday. And I don't really know for sure who's going up there, who's going to be in the procession, but I knew I was driving up from Tucson, and I had a couple Rangers with me, and a few of our Rangers in Phoenix were going to be there. So I knew we'd have a couple. And we got there early. There was a designated meeting area a few blocks from Capri's house in a big vacant dirt lot. And I'm there probably almost an hour early, and there's 40 vehicles there. And I couldn't believe it. And they kept coming and coming and coming. And I'm telling you what, when we drove into the neighborhood and started turning the corners, the procession was a couple of blocks long. Fox News was there. We didn't really know for sure they were coming. And then what was really cool is all of the officers, all of the first responders had a gift for Capri. So they all stopped and they took up both sides of the street, more than a block long. They were parked around the corners, and all of the first responders got out and walked over to Capri, who was sitting in her driveway with her family, and they handed her gifts one at a time. And man, I'm telling you what, I was welling up, and it was something special.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying not to cry myself. Thank you. My heart is like huge right now just hearing
like,
this.
Mommy, don't cry. Mommy, don't cry. Mommy, don't cry.
I know. I'm like sitting here. I'm like, well, maybe if I just put the thing on somebody else, I can fan my eyes here. So amazing. And I have to be honest, I'm not even a little bit surprised. I know how beautiful and loving our law enforcement, our first responder community is, and especially when it comes to children, our hearts just, the minute we see something like that, we cannot bear for a moment the thought of a child feeling at all sad in any way, shape, or form. So my heart is just overwhelmed with happiness to hear that, but not surprised. It's so great. And that, of course, sparked this now longstanding relationship with you, Bill, and Stephanie and Capri and their family. So, I mean, and not only did this turn out to be a great moment in time, but it actually created a really special bond between all of you, which is beautiful.
Oh yeah, he's not Bill, he's Uncle Bill now.
Oh, I love that. That is so sweet. And Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, you started a GoFundMe page for Capri, is that correct?
Yeah, we did. That was right around that same time. And I don't know, Capri has, Stephanie, is it okay to talk a little bit about Capri's medical challenges?
Mm-hmm.
So when I first met Capri when she was 8 years old, she was a pretty normal little girl running around, just celebrating her birthday. It was the first time I met her, was actually on her birthday that day. And since then, in the last, and it's been what, just 2 years?
2 years.
She has, and maybe Stephanie, you can summarize some of these challenges, but she's had more medical challenges than anyone I've ever met in my life has ever had in their lifetime. She's endured just in the last 2 years. Serious stuff to where, and Steph, I'll just pass it on to you. Just in the last couple of years, what kind of changes have you seen? And Capri, feel free to jump in there. How's it affected your life?
So right about a year after we met Bill, Capri started having some visual issues. It was serious, but it wasn't anything that we really were like worried about. And we took her in because the school was like, hey, you know, she needs to get her eyes checked and stuff like that. And so we took her in to get her eyes checked. And the over here at Nationwide Vision or something like that, I don't know, wherever one of those places are up here, he was like, hey, I can't give her the prescription that she needs. You need to go to see a pediatric ophthalmologist. And so, of course, wait time for the pediatric ophthalmologist was about 6 weeks. And they couldn't get us in right away, but I was taking care of a couple fosters over 2020 and was already seeing an ophthalmologist with them. And so I called him, he got her in, and that same day she actually was scheduled for surgery the very next day. Both of her eyes had blood clots in them. They had occlusions. She could not see at all. And she was telling me over 2020, because she was on the computer, and she was telling she could not follow the cursor. And of course, I had the 2 babies with me, so I was doing my best to help her navigate and take care of these children. And I finally told the teacher, I'm like, listen, I can't do this. Something has to give. She's falling behind. She can't see the screen. I'm waiting for her to get into ophthalmologist. I mean, it was just a hassle. There just was a lot going on in that little bit of time.
Yeah.
Well, she had surgery less than 24 hours later. And then every month after that, she's had a procedure since.
Wow.
And kind of what's going on in layman's terms, Elsa, is Capri, I think, was diagnosed with kind of a rare form of muscular dystrophy. Very rare form, they think. They're not even sure, but that affected some of her muscular development. She had peripheral neuropathy. She went from walking pretty much unassisted when I met her to using crutches and braces, and now she's in a wheelchair. And now they think, you know, if things don't change and they don't reverse this, that if it continues to deteriorate, she may be confined to a wheelchair permanently. And one of the side effects they can't explain, none of the specialists can explain, is some swelling on the brain that put pressure on the optical nerve, which cut off the blood flow. Was it to her right eye?
Yes.
And she pretty much was totally blind in the right eye?
Yes, she is. So they can't repair that.
And so when we saw that obviously is I mean, super sad. You wouldn't want that on anybody. But during this whole time, while I'm seeing from my perspective, Capri suffer with unimaginable medical challenges, every single weekend, even though she's going in and out of doctors, getting bad news from different specialists, she never, ever, not even once, stopped showing love to the law enforcement, first responder community. Like literally every week, her and her family are going somewhere in the state, going to rallies and fundraisers and bringing officers lunch and pulling them over like on the side of the street and telling them how much she loves them. They bought a little police uniform, and that's how she got her name, Officer Capri. She looked like a little officer, and she started going around and bringing the awareness to other kids and just showing open support to law enforcement. Even though she was getting some of the worst news of her life, she never, ever let her get her down. And that resiliency and that strength is something that, you know, normally you don't expect to learn that lesson from an 8-year-old girl. And it taught me a whole bunch. And that's about when I started that GoFundMe page, just to help them with a little bit of those medical expenses. Because as you can imagine, it's staggering.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And we're going to, by the way, we're going to put all that link up for anyone and everyone who would like to help out. And, you know, as we always say with things like this, if you are unable financially to donate, please share. And that's okay. Nobody, you know, everybody understands that. But if you share, it gives more exposure to more people who maybe can help. So that's incredible. Everything about this, first of all, I want the 3 of you to be very proud of me that I am not a bucket of tears right now. I want props for that. You don't know me, but I
have been.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Capri, You are a very, very special young lady, and you are a really great role model for many, many adults. Never mind kids. Kids too, of course, but you have a lot to teach to us adults, and I thank you for being who you are and the kind of person that you are. You're pretty stinking amazing, young lady. It sounded like I was yelling at you, young lady. No, I'm not yelling at you. um, yeah, so what I also love, everything I love about this story, but one of the things that I love is that Capri's mission is to show other kids all of the good that there is about and in law enforcement. And boy, oh boy, you know, this is a time where we need exactly that. We need people like Capri, who are unafraid and who boldly go out there and say, I'm not gonna, you know, take part in this negative attitude and mindset because I know better and I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you. And like Bill was just saying, you go out every week and support law enforcement. And I love this beautiful relationship that law enforcement has with you because there's that same level of protectiveness and devotion for you. So it's a joy to watch, and I'm excited to participate in my little way, shape, and form, however I can, for sure.
Yeah,
So,
thank you for that.
oh, you're very welcome. So what is next on tap for you guys? You have anything coming up this weekend?
This weekend, huh? Oh yes. Well, she has her procedure this weekend.
Oh yeah. Okay. So she's a little busy this weekend, a little tied up.
Yep, she's all tied up. So she'll be recovering and everything like that. But our next big thing is for the foundation that also supports her with canines. So they've included her. Yeah, they're going to go down and do a huge event and everything like that in Prescott, which is a couple hours away. They seem to like to invite her to go to really nice places, and you know we like to go because nice and cool.
Yeah. Like some cooler places. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're welcome to come here, but you're gonna freeze. It's awfully cold over here. Bill, we were just talking about that before you came on. The question I always ask people in warmer states is, how warm is it? Just tell me. And yeah, so I think you said what you guys are around 70 degrees right now, and I'm at about 15 degrees right now.
See?
Yeah.
Hey, how much is a one-way ticket to Tucson?
Yeah, I know, exactly. Yeah.
She said she was headed as soon as right now. She's coming.
Yeah, I know. Excuse me while I just walk off this interview and show up on your doorstep. Oh, guys, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show again and spending some time with me. This was so wonderful to get to meet all of you and to hear this story. Tell everybody where we can find you, Capri. I know you have a Facebook page, right? Could you tell them what the Facebook page is?
Officer Capri. Officer Capri. So at Officer Capri, you can find her.
Perfect. Outstanding. And like I said, we'll put up those links and all of that stuff because we want to help one of our helpers, one of our defenders and protectors. So we definitely want to spread the word. So guys, I would love to have you back on again another time. You can give me some updates and let me know what's new and how things are going. I want to check in on you, Capri. I want to also wish you best of luck and very speedy recovery from your next procedure. And yeah, thank you guys so much.
No, thank you for having us. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it.
Hey, good to see you guys. I appreciate it, Elsa. Thank you.
Yes.
You're very welcome. And we will talk soon. Thank you so much.
Yes, okay. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hey, love you guys.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
So today, you are becoming the only other motor officer in the Ranger Ranger. Who's gonna get you up there?
Yeah, who's gonna get you up?
Perfect. Oops.
Good.
It's just moving.
Can we